Well, guys, hope you're having a good Tuesday so far. If you've stepped outside, you already know it's going to be a hot one. That haze is out there, just the makings of a really hot summer day. We have heat advisories in effect for practically our entire coverage area. Those go into effect at 1 p.m. and will continue through tomorrow evening. And as I zoom out, again, you can see heat advisories from East Texas to the Carolina coastline. And you're not seeing any here in New England up through New York, Washington, and Richmond. That's because they have excessive heat warnings. For some reason, that color is not populating, but it is going to be hot for much of the East Coast, up and down the eastern seaboard. They could even be talking record heat. So again, heat advisories today. And here's a look at the pattern setup. What's causing this heat? Well, we have some upper level ridging and some surface high pressure here across the Tennessee Valley. You add those two things together, yeah, it's going to be hot. I mean, we're talking record high temperatures in that purple. So Washington, D.C., New York, I mean, it's going to get close to 100 degrees in southern Maine. So this is going to be some pretty serious heat here. Over 20 degrees above average. We have high pressure, generally southwesterly flow. So if we had flow straight from the south, that humidity would really be high. But since it's coming off of the southwest, it's coming to the Atlantic, so it moderates a little bit. And tomorrow, it does look like we are going to have a better chance of storms because essentially you're going to have high pressure here just to our northwest and low pressure over Florida. We're going to be sandwiched in between that flow. So that flow is still coming off the Atlantic, but there will be some storms firing up into the Carolinas, which could give us some rain chances. But we're still talking near record temperatures for the eastern seaboard and just very uncomfortable weather here today and tomorrow across much of the Tennessee Valley. Heat risk today going to be in the extreme level in that purple shade, which of course includes places like Chattanooga, the metro area. You got to keep in mind with the urban heat island effect, usually city temperatures can run as much as 4 to 8 degrees warmer than the rural suburban areas. Again, we have more asphalt, more concrete, which has a lower albedo effect. So it retains more of that solar radiation coming in, which in part leads to warmer temperatures in places like Chattanooga, Atlanta, Nashville, where you have those really urban areas. But nonetheless, even outside of the city, we're going to be dealing with this heat. So do what you can to stay cool today. Temperatures as of 7:30 already in the mid 70s, so we'll be in the 80s before too long. Highs likely to climb into the 95 to 98 range in the valley, up to the lower 90s along the Cumberland Plateau. Even the Blue Ridge Mountains, Blue Ridge, Murphy, you're likely to top out in the mid 90s. So the heat's not going to spare anyone today. We're all going to be dealing with it together. Heat index, or the real field temperature, whatever you want to call it, likely in the triple digit range here in the valley. Mid to upper 90s in places like Murphy, Blue Ridge, even Altamont. And then tomorrow, I'm thinking we're going to have even more humidity. So I wouldn't be surprised if the heat index climbs over 105 in pockets here in the valley. Again, going to be very sultry out there, uncomfortable, swampy, whatever you want to call it. Any synonym for humid or hot will work today. Here's a look at your next 7 days. The good news is it is going to get a little bit cooler. Again, June, July, August, especially July and August, that's the dog days of summer. So we're not going to have any real breaks from the humidity anytime soon. We may have some highs that cut down into the 80s at times with better chances of rain coming into the picture. But at least in the short term, it's going to be hot and humid. Even this weekend, we're going to be in the low 90s, which is cooler than today. But that's more that typical summertime heat. Today, we're looking at temperatures about 5 to 10 degrees above normal. So far this year, we've had one 95-degree day, and that was yesterday. And last June, we had 11 of those officially in Chattanooga. So last June, it was just burning hot here across the Tennessee Valley. I think we'll probably end up with 3 or 4 95-degree days officially here for June 2025. I mean, you got to think we only have about 6 days left this month, or 7. So we're closing in on the end of June pretty rapidly. But nonetheless, it's still going to be very hot today. So look before you lock. That is so important. Now that I have a small kid, I totally understand. Sometimes you can have a short track mind. Sometimes you just have a lot going on. You may be forgetful, but never forget those young children in the car, especially this time of the year, the pets as well, because the car temperature can rise as high as 140 degrees in under an hour and over 120 degrees in just 20 minutes or so. So again, don't leave them in there for a split second. Again, make sure you're looking before you lock. Drink plenty of water, Gatorade, electrolytes, especially if you work outside. And hey, shout out to everyone who does have a job that requires manual labor outside. You guys We're thinking about you. Make sure you're staying cool out there. Limit that strenuous activity and take plenty of breaks in the shade and air conditioning, especially, again, if you have one of those outside jobs. And if you like to run like I do or work outside or do any kind of, I guess, exercise, do it early in the morning. I would say between sunup and maybe 9 a.m., 10 a.m. After that, it gets uncomfortably hot, or late in the evening. That's usually your best window. And another thing to consider, I'm going to show you this graphic as well, your dogs. Your cats, especially dogs, because a lot of you walk your dogs. I know there's a large dog population here in Chattanooga, a lot of corgis, huskies, labs, golden retrievers. When the temperature is over 95 degrees, the asphalt can reach as high as 155. So typically, put your hand down for 7 seconds. If it's too hot for your hand, it's way too hot for the paw pads. You don't want to do any permanent damage to those paw pads. Again, grassy surfaces this time of the year is the best place to go. So again, just some things to consider. No, most of it's common sense, but it's still a good reminder just to see visually on these graphics. Interior car temperatures over time. Look, air temperature is going to be over 95 today. So we're talking, just in 10 minutes, it's already up to 115 in the car. And heat exhaustion can set in very, very quickly once temperatures rise above 120. So again, please, please, please look before you lock. Going to be so crucial over the next couple of days. So just to sum it all up, hot, humid over the next couple months here in summer. Now, tomorrow there will be a chance of some pop-up storms. So let's take a look at your Futurecast. Anytime we get storms this time of the year, as you know, it can cool you down, but after the storm passes and the sun comes back up, yeah, it's like a sauna out there. Now, for today, I'm not expecting much, maybe a few pop-ups across parts of western North Carolina, but we essentially have high pressure right over us. High pressure equals sinking air. We need lifting air for some of those cumulus clouds to rise high and tap into some of that moisture and start to condense. So we're not going to see a whole lot of that today. Tomorrow, we're going to be sandwiched in that high and low flow, which means we will actually have some storms popping up across the Carolinas. So check this out. As we get into the afternoon, here goes those storms starting to pop up across the Carolinas. And it looks like South Carolina and North Carolina probably get the brunt of this, but we will have a little bit of that drifting into the Tennessee Valley tomorrow into tomorrow evening. Some of you will get a cool down, and some of those storms could even be a little more on the robust side. In fact, there is a marginal risk or a low-end risk for severe weather from really Knoxville all the way down to Dalton, Atlanta, Blue Ridge, Ellijay, Lafayette, Ringgold, Tryon, Summerville, Cleveland, Athens, Etowah, Benton, Turtletown, Ducktown, McKaysville, Murphy, up through Decatur and 10 Mile. The further west you go, you really get out of the severe risk. And the main threat for severe weather going to be in upstate South Carolina, Piedmont and North Carolina, western North Carolina, down into parts of the Florida Panhandle and South Alabama, or LA as we call it, lower Alabama. This is going to be a wind threat, only about a 5% chance within a 25-mile radius in the brown shade. Again, the further east you go, the better chance of severe weather you'll have tomorrow. The hail outlook about the same, 5% chance within that 25-mile radius. No tornado threat today, tomorrow, or really anytime soon. Usually this time of the year, we transition from the tornado threat to more of a wind, microburst / hail threat, as we're not really seeing fronts come through, and the upper level wind profile is usually a lot calmer this time of the year, so no severe risk. But there will be some storms around tomorrow, so don't be caught off guard by that. We'll be in alert mode today and tomorrow for the extreme heat, and again, low in threat for some severe storms tomorrow as well. The rest of the week still going to be very hot and uncomfortable Thursday. Friday through Monday, we're back in the low 90s, which is pretty close to average this time of the year, and we'll have those daily storm chances. So just your typical summertime party forecast. But today and tomorrow, just make sure you're staying aware of your body if you're going to be outside. You get heat exhaustion can come at you pretty quickly. It's happened to me before. I didn't even realize it, and then before you know it, I got dizzy, had to sit down, had to hydrate. So stay safe out there. I'll be back tomorrow morning with the latest on the heat and the storm potential for Wednesday, 4:30 to 7. Catch me on Channel 3. We'll see you. Have a great day. Stay cool.